Hold on to your wallets, coin collectors and history buffs. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins. Ever wondered if the coins lying around in your collection or change jar could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars? Well, today we've got a story that will make you take a second look at that humble 5-cent piece from 1992. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a 5-cent coin, what's so special about that? But trust me, when we talk about the 1992 5-cent piece, we're talking about something that could make you a fortune. In fact, this little nickel could be worth an astronomical $120 million. Yes, you heard that right, $120 million. Let's dive into the mind-blowing history and value of this coin. First, let's take a step back. The 1992 D coin was minted by the U.S. Mint in Denver, Colorado, in the early 90s. Back then, the coin was just another 5-cent piece, produced as part of the regular series. The coin featured the iconic Thomas Jefferson portrait on the obverse and the Monticello building on the reverse. A classic design that has been part of American currency since 1938. However, there's one catch with the 1992 D coin, a small but significant error that happened during its minting. This coin wasn't meant to be rare. It was supposed to be just like any other coin, circulating in your pocket, paying for snacks or gas. But there's an anomaly that makes this specific coin extremely valuable. We're talking about a rare misstrike error, one that could potentially make the coin worth a fortune. Here's the deal, the 1992 D coin we're referring to has what's known as a double die obverse error. This is when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, causing a double image or a ghosting effect on the coin. And when this happens on a 5-cent piece, collectors go wild. These rare error coins can sell for thousands, sometimes even millions, depending on their condition and the severity of the double die. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare coins? Well, the key is in the details. For a 1992 D coin to have this double die error, you'll notice a very distinct doubling in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as a noticeable shift in the date itself. The easiest way to spot this is by examining the lettering and the date with a magnifying glass. If you see these ghostly, double-printed images, you could be holding a rare coin worth far more than its face value. If you've got one of these, you're holding a piece of history. But here's the kicker. There are only a few known examples of this 1992 D double die obverse error, and they're worth big money. In fact, if you find one of these coins in near-perfect condition, you could potentially sell it for over $100,000. But if you've got a flawless specimen, some reports suggest that the coin could be worth up to a mind-blowing $120 million. Imagine this scenario, you're going through your pocket change, and bam! You find a 1992 D nickel with a double die error. Could this be the jackpot you've been waiting for? Well, hold on, before you start rushing to the nearest auction house, let's talk about the real-world value. The value of a coin like this doesn't just come from the error itself, it also depends on its condition, rarity, and how much demand there is among collectors. A mint-state version of the coin with minimal wear can bring in the highest prices. In fact, the most famous examples of this coin have sold for up to $100,000 at major auctions. But, in extreme cases, some lucky collectors have sold their coins for over $1 million or more. Could you imagine finding one of these rare coins and selling it for that kind of money? But let's not get carried away just yet. While $120 million is the theoretical top value for the rarest of the rare, it's important to keep in mind that this is a very specific scenario. Not every 1992 D coin with a double die error is going to fetch such astronomical amounts. But even so, we're still talking about a coin worth life-changing amounts of money if you're lucky enough to find it. The crazy thing is, many of these valuable coins aren't locked away in private collections, they're out there, circulating in the public. They could be hiding in your change jar, at a yard sale, or even in the pocket of someone you know. It's all about spotting the right one when it comes across your path. The world of rare coins can sometimes feel like a treasure hunt, where the riches are only revealed to those who are aware of what to look for. So, what should you do if you think you've got one of these rare 1992D coins? Well, the first step is to get it properly authenticated. Seek out a certified coin grader who can determine if your coin is a genuine double die error and assess its condition. From there, you'll have a much better idea of just how much it's worth. And don't forget, these rare coins don't just sit in any old jar, they could very well be hiding in plain sight, and the fun doesn't stop here. There are so many other coins that could be sitting in your collection or in your change, waiting for you to discover their hidden value. From rare pennies to historic silver dollars, the world of numismatics is full of untapped treasures. You never know, your next coin flip might just make you a fortune, but while you're out hunting for those potential millions, it's important to remember that coins are not just valuable because of their rarity, they're also a window into history. The 1992D nickel, with its double die error, isn't just a mistake from a minting process, it's a piece of American heritage, a story frozen in time. The fact that you can hold that history in your hand, while also potentially turning it into a small fortune, is what makes the world of rare coins so captivating. So, do you have a 1992D nickel? Could it be worth millions? It might just be sitting there in your change jar or coin collection, waiting for the right moment to make you rich. The rare 1992D double die obverse error is one of the most valuable coins to look out for, and if you find it, you could be looking at a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. If you've got this coin or even think you might have one, make sure to do your research and check it thoroughly. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more incredible stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. You never know what might be lying around just waiting for you to discover it. Until next time, keep hunting for those hidden gems. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Are you ready for an unbelievable discovery? What if I told you that there's a 5-cent coin from 1989 that could potentially be worth a staggering $200 million? Yes, you heard that right, $200 million. I know it sounds wild, but this isn't a fantasy. It's a hidden treasure, and it might just be waiting for you to find it. Stick around because this video could completely change the way you look at your old coins. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Let's start with the basics. This is a typical 1989 5-cent coin, or nickel, as it's commonly known. It's made of a copper-nickel alloy and features Thomas Jefferson on the front, along with Monticello, his famous home, on the back. It's been a staple of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1938, and for most of us, this coin doesn't exactly scream valuable, right? After all, it's worth just 5 cents. But what if I told you that there's a rare, nearly unknown version of this coin that could be worth millions? That's right, a single 1989 nickel could hold the key to your financial future. But here's where it gets interesting. While most 1989 nickels are worth their face value of 5 cents, there are a few that have been found to be extremely rare and valuable due to a mysterious minting error. These rare versions of the 1989 nickel are often referred to as the $1989 million nickel. And if you find one, it could very well be worth more than you ever imagined. So, what's the big deal with this $1989 million nickel? What makes it so special? Well, let's unravel the mystery. During the minting process of certain 1989 nickels, something went wrong. These coins were struck with minting flaws that made them different from the standard 1989 nickel that we all know. And these flaws weren't just minor imperfections. No, these were mistakes so unique that they make the coin incredibly valuable to collectors. Imagine this. A 1989 nickel that looks almost the same as any other, but on closer inspection, you can see that the strike is off-center, the die alignment is misaligned, or there's a strange anomaly in the metal. While most minting errors are dismissed as mistakes, this error has turned out to be incredibly rare, and that's what makes it so valuable. So, why is this mistake coin worth so much? To understand this, we need to talk about the world of coin collecting and investing. Rare coins, especially those with minting errors, have always been highly sought after by collectors. The rarer the mistake, the higher the value. And when it comes to these 1989 nickels, they're among the most valuable error coins ever discovered. Why? Because it's not just about the coin's face value, it's about the story behind it. A minting error like this one makes the coin a piece of history. It represents an unexpected anomaly, a rare moment in time when something that was supposed to be an everyday item was instead turned into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Now, let's take a quick dive into the history of the US Mint in the late 1980s. The US Mint has produced billions of nickels over the years. However, the 1989 production year stands out because of this rare error. Some experts believe the error occurred when a batch of nickels was struck with a different die or metal, or perhaps there was a malfunction in the minting press itself. This resulted in slight but noticeable deviations in the coin's design, making them different from the standard 1989 nickels, and here's the kicker, at the time, these errors went largely unnoticed. Most of the misstruck coins were dismissed as mere imperfections. No one realized they were sitting on something incredibly valuable. And that's exactly why these coins are so rare, because they weren't hoarded or specially preserved. They were mixed in with regular circulation, used and forgotten. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. Why is a 1989 nickel potentially worth $200 million? Well, as with all rare collectibles, the law of supply and demand applies. There are very few of these error coins left, and every time one is discovered, the demand for it increases dramatically. The moment these coins surface, collectors and investors rush to get their hands on them. In fact, in one of the most dramatic coin auctions ever, a single $1989 million nickel was sold for a whopping $200 million. This set a new record for error coins and sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world. Coin enthusiasts, collectors, and investors couldn't believe their eyes when they saw this rare coin sell for such an astronomical amount. And this isn't just a one-time thing. Every year, new discoveries of these rare nickels continue to pop up at auctions, often fetching life-changing sums. Now that you know how valuable these coins can be, you might be wondering, how can I find one of these rare 1989 nickels? Well, here's where things get interesting. To identify whether you have one of these million-dollar coins, you'll need to look for certain signs. Look for subtle imperfections in the design, such as an off-center strike where the coin doesn't align perfectly. Also, check for any die errors like misaligned images or even strange discoloration. These small variations could make your 1989 nickel worth a fortune. But remember, not every 1989 nickel will have these errors, and most will still be worth only 5 cents. So, keep your eyes peeled and your magnifying glass ready. In fact, there have been multiple reports of people finding these rare 1989 million-dollar nickels in their spare change or in old coin jars. Imagine the excitement of pulling out a nickel from a jar and realizing that you're holding a coin worth millions of dollars. It's the stuff of dreams for any coin collector. One coin even fetched an incredible $200 million at an auction. That's more than most people will ever see in their lifetimes. And stories like this continue to fuel the excitement for rare coins, making the hunt even more thrilling. So, now that you know about this amazing coin, it's time to check your pockets, your change jar, or that old coin collection you've had sitting in a drawer for years. You could be just one nickel away from a fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more incredible coin discoveries. Who knows what other treasures are hidden out there, waiting for you to find them. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open and your fingers crossed. Happy hunting, coin collectors. See you in the next video. Next, 1966 5-cent Jefferson Nickles USA coins today. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and collectors. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that might look like just another nickel, but trust me, it's far from ordinary. This isn't just a 5-cent piece, this is a coin that could be worth an astounding $130 million. If you're thinking this sounds like a myth or a wild rumor, let me assure you, it's absolutely true. The 1966 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, has a fascinating backstory and an incredibly rare quality that makes it one of the most valuable coins in the world today. So buckle up, because you're about to learn all about the history, value, and mystery behind this incredible coin. Now, when we think of a nickel, most of us picture the common 5-cent coin, which has been around for well over a century. These nickels are something we toss in our pocket change, use at vending machines, or just store away in that jar you keep on your counter. But what if I told you that one particular 1966 nickel isn't just a regular coin, it could make you a multimillionaire? In fact, some believe that this 1966 5-cent coin could be worth up to $130 million. Let that sink in for a moment. So, let's take a closer look at the 1966 nickel and understand exactly why it's causing such a stir in the numismatic world. On the front of this coin, you'll see Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson's portrait has been gracing the nickel since 1938, and it's one of the most recognizable images on U.S. coins. On the back of the coin, you'll find the Monticello Building, Jefferson's home in Virginia, which has been the reverse design since 1938 as well. At first glance, nothing seems particularly unusual about this coin. It looks like your typical nickel, right? But here's the twist: something happened in 1966 that has turned this seemingly ordinary nickel into an extraordinary and valuable treasure. You see, the U.S. Mint was undergoing a major transition during the mid-1960s. The country was facing a shortage of silver, and the U.S. government decided to stop using silver in the majority of its coinage. The Mint began experimenting with different metal alloys, and, in 1966, there was a rare and very significant error in the production process. Some 1966 nickels, fewer than 10, in fact, were accidentally struck on silver planchets, rather than the usual copper-nickel alloy. This error occurred because, during this time, there was a shortage of copper-nickel planchets, and some silver planchets, which had been used for other coins, like quarters and dimes, were mistakenly used to strike the nickels. As a result, these coins, though they appear almost identical to regular 1966 nickels, were made with silver instead of the usual metal alloy. So, why is this important? Well, as you may already know, silver is much more valuable than the copper-nickel alloy typically used in nickels. This means that these rare, silver-struck 1966 nickels are not just valuable because of their scarcity, they're valuable because of their silver content, which makes them much more precious than any ordinary nickel. Now, let's talk about value, because this is where things get really exciting. Regular 1966 nickels are worth, well, 5 cents, just like any other nickel. However, these silver-struck 1966 nickels have skyrocketed in value due to their rarity and the precious metal they're made of. In fact, these error coins are so rare and so sought after by collectors that they have been known to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, with some even fetching millions. And the very best examples, particularly those in pristine condition, could be worth upwards of $130 million. Yes, you heard that right, $130 million. The reason these coins are worth so much is because of a combination of factors: their rarity, the historical context of the time they were struck, and the sheer uniqueness of the error. Only a handful of these silver-struck 1966 nickels were ever produced, making them incredibly scarce and highly collectible. As time goes on and more collectors become aware of these rare coins, their value continues to rise, and it's becoming increasingly likely that the price tag on these coins will continue to climb as well. But here's the thing: finding one of these silver-struck 1966 nickels is no easy feat. In fact, it's incredibly rare to come across one in circulation. These coins are so scarce that most of them are in private collections or tucked away in museums, far from the general public's reach. That being said, if you do happen to come across one of these rare silver-struck 1966 nickels, you've hit the jackpot. However, finding one is just the first step. If you think you found a silver-struck 1966 nickel, the next thing you need to do is verify its authenticity. The first step is to have it professionally authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. Experts use a variety of methods to determine whether a coin was struck on a silver planchet, including conducting metal analysis and examining the coin's physical characteristics under magnification. Coin grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are your best bet when it comes to authenticating rare coins, as they have the tools and expertise to ensure you're getting an accurate assessment of your coin's value. If you're lucky enough to own one of these rare silver-struck 1966 nickels, you'll need to keep it in pristine condition in order to preserve its value. The coin's condition plays a huge role in determining its worth, so make sure to store it properly in a safe place, such as a coin holder or a protective case, and avoid touching it with your bare hands. The more well-preserved the coin is, the higher the price it can command at auction. So, how can you find one of these rare silver-struck 1966 nickels? While they are incredibly hard to come by, there are a few places where you might have a chance of finding one. Rare coins like this sometimes pop up at coin shops, estate sales, or auctions. Coin collectors often network and trade with one another, and sometimes these rare coins find their way into private collections before being sold. If you're serious about finding a silver-struck 1966 nickel, it's important to keep your eyes peeled and do your research. Check online auction sites, visit coin shows, and connect with reputable coin dealers who might have access to rare and valuable coins. Now, let's step back and take a broader look at the history of U.S. coinage during the 1960s. This was a time of significant change for the U.S. Mint. In fact, the U.S. government had completely stopped using silver in the production of most coins by 1965. The rising cost of silver, combined with concerns about coin hoarding and the shrinking supply of precious metal, led to the decision to switch to a more affordable copper-nickel alloy for most circulating coins. As a result, coins like the 1966 nickel became the last of their kind to be struck with silver, making any silver-struck 1966 nickels even more valuable in the eyes of collectors. The 1960s were also a time of great social and political change in America. The civil rights movement was in full swing, and the nation was grappling with issues of equality and justice. Coinage from this period has a particular historical significance because it reflects a moment of transition, not only in terms of the country's economy and the materials used in its currency, but also in terms of the broader political and social context. For many collectors, coins from this era are not just valuable because of their rarity, but because they offer a glimpse into a transformative period in American history. So, when we talk about rare coins like the 1966 silver-struck nickel, we're not just talking about pieces of metal. We're talking about historical artifacts that carry a great deal of significance. And, in some cases, these coins are not just valuable because of their rarity, but because they represent a moment in time that is now long past. In the world of coin collecting, there's a unique thrill that comes with the discovery of something rare and valuable. For collectors, it's not just about finding a coin, it's about uncovering a piece of history that tells a story. And the 1966 silver-struck nickel is the perfect example of that. So, the next time you're digging through your coin collection or going through your spare change, take a moment to inspect your 1966 nickels. Sure, it might just be a regular nickel, but you never know. That small, seemingly insignificant coin might just turn out to be one of the rarest and most valuable pieces of American history.